In just over a century of automotive history, the world has seen many amazing vehicles. Many automakers are chasing the lead, trying to build the best car, the fastest, the most economical, or the most powerful, and motorists use these cars to set their own records, which they can only think of. In this video, let's look at the most amazing car records. The record for driving at the highest altitude in a car in the mountains is 6,688 m. The record was set by the Chileans Gonzalo Bravo and Eduardo Canales in a modified 1986 Suzuki Samurai. This record is set on the slopes of the Ojos del Salado volcano, which is located on the border of Argentina with Chile. We have to admit that Suzuki knows how to make good off-road vehicles. Even in the basic configuration, Suzuki SUVs can leave many prepared cars behind. The automotive section of the Guinness Book of Records has recently been updated with a new achievement: the lowest fuel consumption of a production car. Thus, the Honda Civic Tourer with a 1.6-liter IDTEC engine traveled 13,498 kilometers with an average fuel consumption of 2.82 liters per 100 kilometers. This figure turned out to be much lower than the 3.8 liters per 100 declared for this model by the manufacturer. And in order to achieve such efficiency, the car did not exceed a speed of 80 km/h and accelerated at minimum engine speeds. Prior to this, the record belonged to the Chinese Li Chenyang and Wang Weixing, who drove through all 30 adjacent provinces of China in a Rowi i616T car. They managed not to exceed 2.99 of a liter per 100 kilometers. During this race, the Chinese drove 11,975 kilometers. The longest trip without refueling belongs to a production car Audi A6 with a 2.0 TDI diesel engine. In June 2015, a serial sedan drove a record distance without refueling 1,865 kilometers, which allowed the German brand to take pride of place on the pages of the Guinness Book of Records. The average fuel consumption was 3.7 liters per 100 kilometers. The car was moving at an average speed of 80 km/h, so the race lasted about 28 hours. During this time, the crew traveled 14 countries: the Netherlands, Hungary, Belgium, Luxembourg, France, Switzerland, Liechtenstein, Austria, Germany, Italy, Slovenia, Croatia, Bosnia, and Serbia. The record for the lowest cost of gasoline belongs to Venezuela, where in November 2010 the price per liter of gasoline was about 2 cents, which is less than the price of even crude oil on world markets at that time. The record for the longest drift belongs to BMW. In 2013, driving instructor Joan Schwartz drove a production M5 sedan for 82 kilometers in continuous drift. In the side slip, the sedan covered 322.5 256 m laps. As a rule, world records are broken with minimal improvements in previous results, but not in this case. The length of the distance traveled by Schwartz in the drift was more than 7 times higher than the previous result, owned by the Lebanese Abdo Fagali. Earlier that year, he did an 11 kilometers glide in a Chevrolet Camaro SS. Briton Alastair Moffat in January of this year broke the world record for parallel parking. The stuntman was able to park the car in a spot that was only 7.5 centimeters longer than the length of his car. Moffat carried out jewelry parking on a serial Fiat 500 small car. He turned off the stabilization system and parked in a controlled skid. The previous record was set a few months earlier and was held by Chinese drift champion Han Yu. He was able to park a Mini Cooper between 2 cars, and the distance from the front and rear bumpers to the cars was only 4 centimeters. The most high-torque car is the Nissan Patrol SUV. It was included in the Guinness Book of Records as a production model that towed the heaviest object. We are talking about a 155-ton IL-76 cargo aircraft, loaded and fully fueled. Patrol dragged the plane over 50 m. The record was recorded by representatives of the Book of Records at the airport of Sharjah in the United Arab Emirates. The SUV received one single refinement that allowed it to set a record: a stronger towing loop. The rest of the parameters of the model corresponded to the usual production version of the Petrol A V8 gasoline engine with a volume of 5.6 liters and a power of 400 horsepower, and a 7-speed automatic. And this record belongs to the real lucky one, because we are talking about the highest speed in a car accident, after which the driver managed to survive. This speed is 579 kilometers per hour. This record was registered in 1960 in the United States, during the testing of the Bluebird car, in which Briton Donald Campbell tried to set an absolute land speed record, but unwittingly set a different record. The largest car in the world is considered to be a mining dump truck manufactured in Belarus at a heavy special equipment plant. This is Belaz 75710. The designers managed to make this dump truck as quiet as possible, and also achieved superiority in carrying capacity. The maximum load weight reaches 450 tons, which exceeds the closest competitors by about 90 tons. The mass of the giant itself is 810 tons, and it can reach speeds of up to 64 km/h. The Belarusian Miracle entered the record book as the most powerful car and the most load-bearing dump truck. The smallest car in the world is considered to be mass-produced from 1962 to 1965. PLP-50. The machine weighed only 59 kilograms and did not have a reverse gear, but it had a handle at the back, for which the car can be lifted and turned around, or rolled into a room. The length of the car was 134 centimeters, width 99 centimeters, height 120 centimeters. The baby was not in demand and was discontinued, but managed to get a place in the book of record holders before that. Tango T600 became the narrowest car in the world. Its width was only 99 centimeters, and its length was 257 centimeters. However, despite its non-standard dimensions, this electric car can accelerate to hundreds in just 4 seconds. The maximum Tango can accelerate to 217 km/h. The price of this miracle car fluctuates around hundreds of thousands of dollars, and let this car not be called attractive by many, but who bought it will not face the problem of parking. Among amphibian vehicles, too, there are champions. California-based water car Python has created the world's fastest amphibious vehicle that can travel both on land and water. This is not the only manufacturer of such cars in the world, but this model of an amphibious car is the fastest car of all amphibians moving on land. So, for example, this unusual car picks up speed from 0 to 100 km/h in just 4.5 seconds. This was made possible thanks to its powerful Corvette Z06 engine and 437 horsepower. On the water, this car develops a speed of up to 96 km/h, which is an exorbitant indicator for this type of equipment. Irv Gordon set a world record for car mileage. His Volvo P1800 car managed to cover a distance of 4,830,000 kilometers. Thus, his car became the only car in the world that was able to drive and overcome such an overdistance. The second place in this record belongs to a Mercedes, which is currently stored in the Museum of the City of Stuttgart. Its owner is a simple taxi driver to drive this car a distance of 4,600,000 kilometers. The most expensive production car is the Italian supercar Lamborghini. Despite the fact that the car of the Lamborghini Roadster Veneno brand was not released in large numbers, it is still officially a production car. The cost of this car is almost 4 million euros, which makes it the most expensive production car in the world. The car is equipped with a 6.5-liter V12 petrol engine, which is also installed on the Lamborghini Aventador. The engine transmits torque to all 4 wheels through a 7-speed gearbox. power of 750 horsepower allows you to accelerate the super sports car to 100 kilometers per hour in just 2.9 seconds and reach a top speed of 355 kilometers per hour. The most expensive car in the world is the Ferrari 250 GTO. The car with the number 5111 was purchased by a connoisseur and collector of the Ferrari brand for $52 million, and who wished to remain anonymous. The car, which he bought in 1962 and has a fairly long record of victories in various competitions, including a victory in the Tour de France in 1963 and several victories in the high-speed race to Mount Cambrus. In total, Ferrari produced 39 copies of the GTO, and most of them settled in the collections of wealthy collectors. Ferrari 250 GTO, considered one of the greatest works of Enzo Ferrari, the ideal forms of this stallion were honed for many months in a wind tunnel and brought to perfection. A 3.0-liter V12 engine with 300 horsepower was chosen as a power unit, which guaranteed the car the maximum speed of 280 km/h, and acceleration from standstill to hundreds was 6 seconds. Interestingly, in 50 years, someone will be willing to pay the equivalent of today's $50 million for some modern supercar.